Igniter. Monday morning, first week of the quarter. The forecast lands in the CFO's inbox, and it is beautiful. Revenue projected to 1 decimal place. Confidence intervals. Charts you could frame. The model behind it had digested 10 years of ledger history, every invoice, every payment pattern, every seasonal wobble, and it said, calmly and precisely, steady as she goes. The board loved it. Someone called it the most rigorous forecast the company had ever produced, and in a narrow sense they were right. 6 weeks later, the company's biggest customer gave notice. And here's the thing. The churn was visible for months, everywhere except the ledger. Support tickets getting shorter and colder. Invoices that used to be paid without a murmur suddenly queried, then paid slowly, then queried again. A renewal meeting that kept being rescheduled. An accounts receivable clerk who said, out loud, in a corridor, something's off with them, and was told the model said steady as she goes. The forecast wasn't wrong because the machine was bad at maths. The machine is superb at maths. It was wrong because the truth wasn't in the numbers yet. The data was in the emails, not the ledger. That's a composite, by the way, stitched from patterns finance people will recognize, not one real company. But if you've worked a finance desk, you didn't need me to say that. You've met this forecast. Today, finance, the function where I's promise and I's confident wrongness collide hardest. And the three-way split the best finance leaders are already making. Welcome back to Igniter. I'm Alex Rivers, and this is Beyond Automation, Episode 2. Last episode we traced the fork. Automation replaces the task, augmentation multiplies the person, and which one you get is a design choice. Today that fork walks into the finance department, the one function where the stakes wear decimal points and the mistakes come with signatures. You know the 3 beliefs this show runs on: technology matters, human judgment compounds, and organizations win when they multiply people, not just efficiency. Today is about the second one, because finance is where judgment stops being a soft skill and starts being a legal obligation. Same rules as always, research-backed, stress-tested, one action you can take, and full transparency about how we make this show. One more rule today, and I'll repeat it at the end because it matters in this episode more than most. Everything you're about to hear is general information, not financial advice. Your jurisdiction, your auditors, your rules. Let's get into it. Start with where finance actually is. Roughly 6 in 10 finance functions now use AI somewhere, and here's the interesting part. That number has barely moved in a year, after tripling the year before. Meanwhile, the ones already using it report getting steadily more optimistic about it. Sit with that combination for a second. Adoption flat, satisfaction rising. The people on the field are enjoying the game more. The people on the fence are still on the fence. That's not a market cooling off. That's a gap opening quietly. The plateau isn't fatigue, it's the moment the real question arrives. Not should we use AI in finance. That ship has sailed, docked, and filed its customs paperwork. The question is where. And the answer, watching the teams that do this well, is that finance work splits 3 ways. Bucket 1. Production. The close. Reconciliations. Transaction matching, consolidations, the first pass of the flux analysis. Work with rules, repetition, and a right answer. Automate it. Aggressively. This is where the machine isn't just faster, it's better. It doesn't get tired on day 4 of close, and it's the thing that catches the duplicate invoice a human waves through at 11 at night, because by day 4, everything looks like it matches. Teams that have done this properly close in days, not weeks, and the ambitious ones are heading somewhere more interesting. A close that never really opens, because the matching and checking runs continuously instead of in a monthly panic. Here's the test. If a task's definition of success is exactly the same as last month, but faster, that task belongs to the machine. Bucket 2. Forecasting and analysis. This is augmentation country. The machine brings breadth no analyst can match. Every product line, every driver, every scenario, reforecast in minutes instead of weeks. And that breadth changes what analysis even is. The question you never had time to model: what happens if we lose the big customer? What does a 2-month supply delay do to covenants? Used to be a special project. Now it's a Tuesday afternoon run. Which means the scarce skill stops being can you build the model and becomes do you know which question is worth asking it. What the machine cannot bring is the thing our cold open model was missing: context. The machine reads history. The analyst heard the future, in the tone of a customer's emails, months before it reached a ledger. A forecast worth signing is the machine's breadth plus the human's context, and the commentary, the here's what this actually means, that stays human. Every clerk with a bad feeling deserves a channel into the model. Most companies don't have one. That's a design choice too. Bucket 3. Judgment. Capital allocation. Disclosure. Going concern. And the quiet giants, the estimates, provisions, impairments, accruals. We talk about these like they're numbers, but be honest, they're opinions wearing decimals. This is the bucket where accountability cannot be delegated, because a signature means a human being stands behind the judgment, and no framework anywhere lets you subcontract that to a probability engine. Last season we gave you a 3-word habit for working with AI: accept, adjust, reject. Finance is where that habit earns a salary. And this is where the hallucination problem lands properly. RE's confident wrongness is not a bug you wait for a vendor to fix. It's a property you control for. And finance, of all functions, already knows how. You didn't stop hiring graduates because graduates make mistakes. You built review, sampling, sign-off, segregation of duties. Treat machine output exactly like junior staff work: reviewed, sampled, signed off, never trusted with the pen on anything in Bucket 3. Same discipline you've run for a century. New junior. You know the rules. We don't get to keep a tidy framework without trying to break it. 3 objections, including one from the machine's corner. Objection 1. Finance is numbers. AI is good at numbers, so automate the lot, buckets be damned. 2 problems. First, half of finance's numbers are judgments in numeric costume. Automate an estimate and you haven't removed the opinion, you've just hidden whose it was. Second, a model trained on your history is structurally blind to whatever history hasn't seen yet. That's not a flaw in the model, it's the definition of a model. The research on this is blunt. Inside the machine's competence, people using AI get faster and better. One step outside it, they get worse, more confidently wrong, with the machine's blessing. In most jobs that costs you an awkward meeting. In finance, one step outside the frontier can be a disclosure event. Objection 2, from the cautious corner: too risky, the auditors will never wear it, the regulators will never wear it, so wait. Understand the instinct, but notice that finance has run this exact panic before. Calculators were going to destroy rigor. Spreadsheets were going to destroy control, and to be fair, spreadsheets gave it a red-hot go. Big enterprise systems were going to be ungovernable. Each time, the profession did the same thing. It didn't refuse the tool, it wrapped the tool in controls and moved on. Waiting, meanwhile, is also a decision, and it has a price tag. Your competitor closes in 3 days, reforecasts on demand, and their analysts do analysis while yours do assembly. And the regulatory read is wrong, too. Nobody serious is saying never. The direction, across jurisdictions, rhymes. Know where you're using it, control it, be able to explain it. The details differ by country and they change, so verify yours. But explainable, controlled, and owned by a named human is not a ban. It's a spec. Objection 3, from the machine's corner, and it deserves the steel man. The model consistently beats your gut on stable processes, so why keep humans in forecasting at all? On the pattern-rich, stable stuff, conceded, and that's exactly the machine half of Bucket 2. But here's the question that decides whether anything gets signed: show me why the model said that. If nobody in the building can answer, you don't have a forecast. You have a horoscope with good production values. Keep the tools that show they're working. Log every override so you learn whether your gut or the model wins over time. That's not nostalgia for human judgment. That's how you find out what it's worth. Verdict: the split survives. Automate production. Augment analysis. Ring-fence judgment. And I've said this before, and I'll keep saying it until it stops being true, the biggest competitive advantage of the next decade won't be AI. It'll be organizations that know where to put humans and where to put machines. Finance just happens to be where that knowledge gets audited. While I'm here, I'll show you my cards: belief, not finding. The monthly close as a human activity is dead inside 10 years, and I won't miss it for a second. Nobody's career was built ticking and tying at midnight. The judgment bucket is a different story. That one I defend with furniture. So here's the method, and it's runnable this quarter. Take the finance calendar, everything the function ships in 90 days. The close. The board pack. The forecast. The reforecast. Capital reviews. Covenant reporting. All of it, on one page. Now, for each item, 3 questions. 1. Is it rules or judgment? 2. Who signs it? 3. What does confident wrongness cost here, a red face or a restatement? Rules plus low blast radius goes to bucket 1. Automate it, but automate it like an auditor would. Don't review everything the machine does, sample it, and make exceptions escalate to a human by default. A control you don't test is a decoration. Pattern plus context goes to bucket 2. The machine drafts, the human adds what the data can't see, the commentary carries a human name. And build the channel for soft signals. The AR clerk something's off needs somewhere to go besides a corridor. Judgment plus signature goes to bucket 3. Ring fence it. Write the functions never delegate list. 3 items minimum, on paper, pinned where the team works. If it touches disclosure, going concern, or capital allocation, the machine can brief the human. It does not get the pen. 2 warnings from the teams that learned them the hard way. First, alert fatigue. An anomaly system that cries wolf trains your people to rubber stamp, and an alert nobody reads is worse than no alert. It's fake assurance with a timestamp. Tune the thresholds until the alerts are rare enough to matter. Second, make show me why a procurement gate. If a vendor can't show the working, their tool never touches anything that gets signed. You wouldn't hire an analyst who refuses to explain their numbers. Don't license one either. And bring back the override log, Finance Edition. Every time a human overrules the model, or swallows their doubt and doesn't, 1 line, what the model said, what you did, why. Score it quarterly. Some of your people will discover their gut is an instrument worth calibrating. Others will discover the model deserves more rope on exactly the things they'd been second-guessing. Either way, you stop arguing about intuition versus algorithms with anecdotes, and start settling it with a ledger. Very on brand for finance. One more belief, clearly labeled as belief. Within 5 years, show me why the model said that becomes the defining executive question in finance. The CFOs who can't answer it won't be replaced by models. They'll be replaced by CFOs who can. If you're an analyst, pick one recurring report, the one you could build in your sleep, and automate the assembly. The data pools, the tables, the first-pass variants. Keep the commentary. Your name stays on the thinking, and the hours you save go somewhere visible. That's augmentation with your fingerprints on it. If you're a CFO or finance leader, take this quarter's calendar and sort it into the 3 buckets. Then do exactly 3 things: automate 1, augment 1, ring-fence 1, and write down who signs each. If you can't name the signer, it isn't ring-fenced. It's abandoned. How this episode was made: AI helped verify the research, pressure test the arguments and draft structure. A human wrote the script, chose the examples, and owns every claim. The cold open is a composite, and flagged as 1. A verification note, because this week it was the interesting kind. Adoption statistics for AI in finance are all over the place. We found several circulating numbers. We quoted the one from a named survey with a stated sample and stated dates, and what it actually shows is a plateau, which is a more useful truth than a bigger number would have been. Receipts in the episode notes. And the repeat, as promised. This episode is general information, not financial advice, not accounting advice, not audit guidance. The rules genuinely differ by jurisdiction, and they genuinely change. Before you alter a control, a report, or a process that someone signs, Talk to your advisors. Your companion for this episode, the new finance tech stack, the 3 buckets mapped to the actual tool categories, vendor neutral, with the judgment layer drawn on top in permanent marker. It's in the Edge brief. Next episode, why most AI projects fail, the pilot that impressed everyone and changed nothing. Your company has 1. Yours might have 3. Technology matters. Judgment compounds. Multiply people, not just efficiency. The edge is still yours. Now you know where to swing it. I'm Alex Rivers. This is Edge Igniter.